Paper Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and today I'm going to make this really fun card. At my last card class, we made these, and it was really easy to do using the Stamparatus. So without further ado, I'm going to get started and I'm going to show you how to go about making this. The Stamparatus is one of my favorite tools in my arsenal. I absolutely love it. It's very good for tricky type stamps, stamps that are hard to get it completely inked in. If you're doing repetitive projects, this is perfect as well, because your stamp is going to stay exactly where it should be and your paper will stay where it's supposed to be, and you can just keep boom, 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 just keep going. There's a flap on this side, and then there's also one that you can put right here. And you can also, you can adjust it so that you can stamp your stamp in different places. So it is a great tool. It comes with a pad so that if you're using photopolymer stamps, that it will give you the cushioning that you need. Now the stamp set that I'm using today is not photopolymer. It is actually red rubber. It's the cling stamps. This also comes with 2 different magnets, and that will just hold it in place. So I've got my paper where I want it to be. Now I'm just going to place my very large stamp where I want it to be, and then you just close the thing on it. What do you call this? The panel. You close the panel. I don't know. I don't remember what you call it. Okay. Now, one thing I wanted to show you, when we did this with our class, I went along ahead of time and I just drew on my little guide where your paper should be. Okay? So you're going to stamp it like this here, but then you also want your paper, you want to do a double stamp. This is stamped twice. So you will also want to move it over like this, and then I will mark it here as well. Now for my class, I actually wrote where, like I wrote Starry Sky, Tahitian Tide, and I wrote exactly where it should be whenever you're doing it. I'm going to go ahead with my Tahitian Tide first. I'm going to ink it up, and y'all, these in colors are my favorite in colors that they have introduced to us yet. I absolutely love these colors. All right, so we're just going to go ahead, and pardon my glare from my light. I'm just going to press it a little bit. Okay, so see, this is where you can see it didn't get all the way. Now, it's not that big of a deal because it's going to be covered with a darker color, but you can see how I went over it again and just was able to match it up completely. All right, so I'm just going to wash this off with my very stained chamois, but it doesn't matter if it's stained or not. It just works great either way. All right, so now I'm going to move my paper over to this second area right here. Put this back down, and now I'm going to use the Starry Sky. So just ink that up. You know what? I did it wrong. It's actually supposed to be over here. All right. I get confused about these things sometimes. All right, so now you can see the wave is going to be there. I think I'm going to move it over even a little bit more, maybe one more. And I love these little papers, these grids, because it gives you like the perfect measurement for being able, with the 1/4 inch places, it's perfect for helping you to line it up just right. And I did not ink up this one part because I thought it would go off the page, and I was wrong. So I'm just keeping it real with you here today. All right, there you go. Perfect. All right, I'm going to set this off to the side. The next thing I'm going to do is I am going to bring in a blender brush, which I love these things. They are so soft, and you can wash them using soap and water and they come clean. I kind of like to just dedicate one for blues, yellows, reds, greens, that sort of thing. because it's like they get seasoned and they work even better after you do that. Now I've taken this piece of paper that I was using in my Stamparatus. I'm going to start off the edge and then I'm just going to work over it a little bit. I don't want it to be super, super blue, but I just want to cut the starkness of the white so that it just kind of looks like it might be a sky back there. I've already cut the pieces that I need for this card. And this is one of the dies that comes with the Waves of Inspiration die set. I cut it out in Balm Blue, and I'm going to test my stamp. Now, this is a trick for me because when I put the cling label on, I did it a little bit crooked. So I'm turning my thing upside down, and I'm going to just try to see how it turns out. Okay, so it's straight, but I need to go down a little bit. Okay, now normally, if you're crafting on your own, you would probably stamp it, then cut it out. But when you're doing classes and you cut these things out ahead of time, it's nice to try it on one side before you actually do it. So that came out pretty good. I'm also going to take linen thread and I'm going to cut a couple pieces. Oh, I don't know, maybe 4 inches long. And I probably don't even need that much of it. But then I'm going to double it like this. Then I'm going to take it through right here, these little holes, and then pull this through the little loop like this. I want it to show, it's kind of like a sailor's knot. Can you see that? I want this to show on this side, and the way you do that, it seems really simple and elementary, but there's 2 ways, and the way you achieve that is by going through the hole in the front rather than going through the back. Okay. Like that. Super simple. Okay, so now I'm going to put little mini dimensionals on the back of it because I don't want the dimensionals to be seen. And this is one of my favorite tips, to use take your pick tool or your pointy tool, whatever you have, to get the backings off of those dimensionals. All right, so then I'm going to just kind of go off to the right just a little, just above the waves. Place that down. Then I'm going to use my glue dots, and one of my favorite things to do with my glue dots is to tie a ribbon. I take them out of the box and then I just tie a bow or a ribbon around it. And then that way this doesn't come unrolled all over the place. But this is my favorite way of adhering things to the back. Yes, you can use tape, but it's just super easy just to use a glue dot. I use glue dots for lots of things. Okay, I'm going to put it down, but I'm not actually going to adhere it until I look at it from the front. I want to make sure that it's not crooked or anything. And there we go. I've already pre-cut clouds that were also a part of the die set, the Waves of Inspiration die set. So I'm just going to put dimensionals on the back. I'm going to use a small one over here so that it doesn't show. Okay, I'm going to place the larger one over here and the smaller one up in the corner up here. Then I'm going to take my seagull and I'm just going to stamp. Uh-oh, I got it right there. Oh no, oh no. Let's see if I can cover it by putting another seagull up there. Well, almost. There we go. It's fine. I am not going to fret that. I am a little bit. I'm going to fret it a little bit. But you know what? Whoever gets this card will just be thankful that I thought of them. So I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. I'm not going to tear it apart or anything like that. I could put embellishments on it, and that would cover it, but that might look silly, so I think I'm just going to leave it. All right, so I want to try to make sure that my edges are even. So I like to line up my corners, my opposing corners, and make sure that there's the same amount of space on all sides, which is hard to do when you use seal. There we go. This is thick basic white. I forgot to give you my measurements. This first piece of basic white is 3 3/4 by 5. And then I have Starry Sky, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And then it's thick basic white, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. And there is my card. Isn't it just lovely? Now, if I had not put the white up in there, you know, all along the sky, it would have really been bright and stark, and it just wouldn't have looked quite right. But I love the double stamped waves. I love that it has a sky effect with this balmy blue behind it. I just really love how it turned out. Now you can stamp whatever you want to. You can do birds or whatever you want to do on the inside of it. I used the Waves of Inspiration. This is the stamp set. There's like the pier with seagull, really nice sentiments on it, and it has just been a fun set. If you like this, then hit subscribe and ring the bell, and that way you'll get notice when I have future videos come out. I appreciate your comments, your thumbs up, any of that sort of thing. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.